We've invested a lot of time and energy delineating this tunnel, and I think there's great anticipation on everyone's part to try to, well, not only to put eyes on it, but to see where it may lead.
From the exploration of several interesting spots on the island that could lead to the discovery of the treasure that is rumored to be hidden somewhere on Oak Island, to the battle with many of the problems that they may come across while they were searching for the treasure, here's how a dive on Oak Island led to the discovery of something terrifying while they were finding their way into a collapsed tunnel. As the years go on, there are some things that are just certain. The sun will come up in the morning, the government will be after your taxes until the day that you die, and someone will definitely be looking for treasure on the mysterious spot that is Oak Island. For more than 229 years, these people have been searching for the treasure that is rumored to be hidden by someone somewhere on the island, only to slink away with nothing to show for it. Be it a normal guy who just happened to find their way to the island after they heard about the treasure, or if it is some famous person who was seeking the thrill of going treasure hunting on this treasure island, they all search for this treasure to no avail. Maybe it is because no one actually even knew who buried this treasure. It all began in 1795 when a kid who went by the name of Daniel McGinnis suddenly came across this circular depression while making his way around the island. Driven by the rumor of treasure hidden somewhere on the island, Daniel thought it may be a great idea to get some of his friends to join in on this treasure hunting expedition. At first it all seemed great. As the guys had dug 10 or so feet into the ground, they began to find encouraging signs that they may actually be on the right path. This was due to the presence of clues like oak logs, coal, and coconut fiber. This told them that this circular depression was definitely a man-made one.
Can't say we found the flood tunnel itself, but what I see and hear is a lot of water rushing in. And it appears to be rushing in from the uphole side, in other words, from the landward side. This to me is very impressive.
And as such, there must be something at the bottom of this massive pit. Unfortunately, the guys didn't have the resources to keep on digging despite going more than 30 feet or so into the ground. As the boys slinked away in defeat from what would be known as the original money pit, they'd find that this didn't deter others from taking on the treasure hunting challenge in the subsequent years to come. Maybe this was because nobody could tell who put the treasure there to begin with. Over the years, there have been many theories and speculations as to who may have buried this treasure on the island. Whether it was Queen Marie Antoinette or Captain Kidd who buried the treasure on the island, or whether it was a large group or civilization such as representatives of the Knights Templar or the ancient Roman Empire, nobody truly knows. All we're certain about is that we may never know until the treasure is eventually discovered by the current treasure hunting team on the island. The Lagina brothers and the Curse of Oak Island TV crew. As you can tell, the Curse of Oak Island TV crew has helped build a fascination with the treasure hunting endeavor of these brothers and their hard-working crew. One would find that although they are indeed looking for this treasure on the island, they are also hoping to learn the answers to some of the many secrets that the island is hiding from us all. That is why the team seems to be quite excited about a recent significant discovery that they had made in the course of searching for the treasure on the mysterious island. This came in the form of a collapsed tunnel that may be a lead to a potentially new spot that could lead to the discovery of the treasure that they've been looking for more than 200 years. This reminds us of the garden shaft, one of the areas of interest in the search for treasure on Oak Island. This garden shaft is located close to the site of the original money pit that we mentioned earlier, and as such, it seemed to be a key point in the search for treasure on the island. Apparently, this shaft was dated back to the 18th century, and as such, it is believed that it was the burial site of some of the many secrets of Oak Island.
So the hope is that once we get down 50, 60 feet, we'll be able to drill horizontally, vertically.
Yep.
Understandably, one can see how this is no ordinary shaft. No, it seemed to be a gateway to the past for those looking for answers to the secrets of Oak Island and the treasure that is hidden somewhere on it. Consequently, it was of utmost importance that the team carried out the renovation of this shaft as best as possible. After all, it was crucial for them to find a mysterious tunnel that they'd be able to explore as they searched for the hidden treasure that was rumored to be hidden there. Who knows? Maybe the tunnel could even be a direct link to what the early settlers of Oak Island were up to back then. They had to make sure that they explored whatever tunnel or chamber that may be down there. It could be the key to their treasure hunting mission of Oak Island. It would be such a gratifying moment for everyone who had dedicated the last 11 or so years to the search for treasure on Oak Island. Thanks to their good work, the team found that the tunnel that may be down there seemed to move in the direction from east to west. This seemed to cut through a spot known as the Blob area. This was of great interest to the team because this was a spot that seemed to have a high concentration of precious metals such as silver and gold within it. Understandably, one can see how the team was eager to get down there, but they couldn't ignore how difficult it was due to the difficulties faced in renovating the garden shaft.
And the hope is that when we go down in the shaft, our senses will be more attuned to the possibilities of what the shaft represents in terms of furthering our understanding in the money pit.
This is mostly because it was located in an area that was notorious for its flooding problems. Then again, the entire island seemed to have a flooding problem. One would find that many of the treasure hunting adventurers who made their way to the island found that their endeavors were foiled due to the fact that their tunnels were getting flooded after they got to a certain depth in the ground. Well, the team had to find a way to get past this flooding that they had encountered while they were trying to get down the garden shaft. As such, the team began to worry that they would not be able to continue with their exploration of the shaft because of how unsafe it was. In order to make some progress with the renovation of the garden shaft, the team decided to make use of a rapidly setting substance known as urethane. This was used to seal off any spots that could allow for the infiltration of the floodwater. Thankfully, this allowed the team to ensure the integrity of the shaft while also allowing them to continue with their work down there. Consequently, one can see how this solution has allowed the team to perform the renovation of the garden shaft in a precise and methodical manner. As time went on, the team was able to extend the depth of their newly renovated shaft down to about 87 feet. That said, this still fell short of the 100 feet target that they had set for themselves. Understandably, this was probably because they were trying to get to that vertical tunnel that they believed was somewhere underneath the garden shaft. If they could get to the tunnel, maybe they could get to the baby blob area so that they could see if they could find that high concentration of precious metal that is hiding down there. As such, one can see why they would be so meticulous in their approach to the excavation process. This meant that they had to be coordinated in their approach to this excavation with the use of specialized machines and equipment so that they could carry out some strategic drilling exercises that would allow them to create a more detailed map of the area. With the creation of this map, one can see how the more detailed the map is, the more the team would have a clear target to look out for while they were searching for this deposit of gold and silver. As they got deeper, it became clear that the team was definitely aiming to breach a spot that isn't just a physical structure. It soon became clear that they were searching for a piece of the puzzle that may prove to be important in the search for the treasure that is rumored to be hidden somewhere on the mysterious island.
Do I believe that there's treasure at the bottom of the garden shaft? I'll be honest, I'm hopeful, but I just want to get underground in the money pit. Let's get underground and exploit the opportunities that the shaft represents.
As time went on, they began to realize how important this structure was. In fact, it told them that the tunnels may have even been important long before Daniel McGinnis had discovered the infamous original money pit. As such, this seemed to confirm the belief that these tunnels could lead the team to that treasure trove that they and many others had been desperate to come across for more than 200 years. As such, simply getting to this tunnel could represent a major milestone to the team. Sure, it could lead to that desired treasure trove, but it could also tell us about who could have built such an elaborate network of tunnels so deep into the ground so many years ago, when they lacked the technology that the Lagina brothers and the Curse of Oak Island team have access to today. With each hit of the shovel into the ground, and with each drilling exercise that they partook in, the team knew that they were performing something that was quite important in the grand scheme of the search for this treasure. With any luck, this will draw them closer to their ultimate goal of finding this treasure, while also helping them unlock as many secrets of this island as possible. Sure, the flooding issue has been a hindrance not only to the Lagina brothers and the Curse of Oak Island team, but also to every single one of the treasure hunters that found their way to the island. However, thanks to the use of urethane, the team has been able to overcome the flooding issue so that they can carry out their planned renovations without too much fear for their safety. However, the team found that this solution didn't last forever, and soon they had to deal with the persisting water infiltration problem. This is because they worried that if something wasn't done soon, the water infiltration problem would compromise the structural integrity of the shaft, which would make it prone to the catastrophic collapse that they had been hoping to avoid. Not only that, they worried that the flooding problem would cause a problem with the visibility that they would have in the shaft. Understandably, this would make it difficult for the team to take note of the geographical formations and potential artifacts that they may find while they were down there. As if these factors weren't annoying enough, this doesn't mean that the team wasn't bothered by having to constantly pump water out of the shaft. This drastically slowed down the excavation process, and we're sure that the team wasn't happy at all, as it diverted the time and resources that they could have used for other purposes.
Look at this shaft and you think, my goodness, people long ago, they didn't have cranes. It's a testament to their will, to their desire, to their belief that where there's a will, there's a way.
Again, the team found a solution in the fast-setting urethane substance. This time, they made sure that they covered all the spots that the water could have seeped in through. This time, they could rely on its ability to fill in cracks and gaps that could be found in the tunnel. There was no way that they were going to let the water hinder their work anymore. After the urethane was applied to those specific areas where the water could have seeped into the tunnel, they were sure that they could maintain the structural integrity of the shaft, which will allow the work to continue without having anything to worry about anymore. Despite this, the team will have to continue worrying about the water infiltration process, and as such, this means that there will be a persistent complexity that will always come with working within the tunnels that one would find on Oak Island. As such, while it means that they will always be on the lookout for the equipment and techniques that would help them prevent the constant flooding problem, it also means that they would have to deal with the unpredictability of the job, especially when there is a change in the water pressure, which is bound to happen from time to time. In light of these factors, one may have to laud the team for their fantastic work in terms of their determination to find a way through this flooding issue. It was clear that the use of urethane, along with other water management techniques, proved that they will stop at nothing in the search of this treasure. With any luck, this could be the edge that could push them towards being the ones that would unearth this treasure that had been hidden from the world for so many years. As such, the team continues to persevere as they search for this treasure on Oak Island. This takes us to the discovery of Aladdin's Cave, another fascinating point of interest for the search for treasure on Oak Island. Apparently, its discovery even proved to be a milestone event for the team as they carried on with their excavation on Oak Island. Apparently, this cave was discovered as the team carried out one of its core drilling exercises in borehole KL 14.5. Once they got down there, the team was fascinated by the potential this cave had of being the hiding place of this treasure on Oak Island. Apparently, this was because Aladdin's Cave was an extraordinary geological formation. Indeed, it may even prove to be an interesting clue on the treasure hunting puzzle that needs to be solved before the Lagina brothers and the Curse of Oak Island team come across the treasure that is rumored to be hidden on Oak Island. This was because upon exploration of the cave, the team soon found that there may be more to the island's underground landscape. Apparently, this was due to the cave's size and location. The gist is that such size and location made the cave one of the best options when it came to the places to explore, as it was quite possible that this was where there must be some valuable artifacts. Some even thought that this may be the cave that would eventually lead them to that elusive treasure. When you also consider its proximity to the Baby Blob area, one may start to fully understand how important this place was to the discovery of treasure on the island. This was perhaps due to the fact that some of the earlier settlers of the island, as well as some of those who came to search for treasure on the island, decided to hide some of the valuables of their own in this cave. Eager for answers, the team set off on exploring this cave in a precise and methodical process that involved the use of high-definition cameras. That way, they could make their way through the cave while also getting more details of the inside of the cave. This is thanks to its ability to take clear images in areas with little to no light, while also being able to adjust itself so that it could capture images at a 360-degree angle. As such, one can see how important such equipment has been to the team. One of the first things that was noticed about the first few observations of the cave with the use of this high-definition camera was that this was a wide-open space that seemed to have features that suggested that they were made by humans. This included a square-headed bolt that convinced most of the team members that there must have been some human activity that must have taken place in the cave. While it may be too optimistic to believe that this meant that there must be some treasure in the cave, this certainly tells us that this cave must have been used by some individuals who wanted to hide something that they considered to be valuable. Maybe these people were using the cave to hide treasure of their own. As much as these leads may drive the team to feel the need to explore the cave, the team must take note that it would be no easy task to find out what was going on in an underground cavity like Aladdin's cave. For starters, one cannot underestimate how massive this cave was. Then there was the presence of water and silt that made it difficult for the team to find their way in and around the tunnel. Consequently, the team cannot dismiss the importance of their state-of-the-art equipment, such as the high-def cameras that they had at their disposal. Such devices have been integral in helping the team overcome these obstacles they found as they were trying to make their way down the cave. That was the only way that they could get as much information as they could about the massive cave. As fascinating as this was, this didn't mean that they still didn't have any other problems when it came to the exploration of the cave. As bad as the issue with the water in the cave, as well as the visibility problems they had while they were down there, the team also struggled to deal with the interpretation of the data that they collected following the exploration of the cave. Apparently, although the camera gave them a visual representation of the cave which helped them determine how important what they saw was, the team still had to go through the process of decoding exactly what they were seeing. Maybe it could reveal some more clues as to how this cave may lead to the discovery of the treasure that is rumored to be hidden somewhere on the island. At the very least, it could help them learn about the history of the island and how it may be linked to the hidden treasure that has eluded so many others for so many years. Looking at the situation, there is a chance that Aladdin's cave may just be the beginning of one of the exciting chapters in the history of Oak Island. Just take a look at how the team decided to move on from their high-definition cameras so that they could use sonar technology. With the use of sonar technology, the team will be able to create the exact map of the cave. That way, they would be in the best position to identify any openings or treasure locations that may be hidden within the cave. Hopefully, the use of more modern technology will help the team create a detailed understanding of the cave's structure. With this in mind, one can see how for the Lagina brothers, this cave may be one of the most important factors in the search for this elusive treasure. Considering how much potential this cave has towards the search for this treasure, there is no way they can ignore it. At least, not for now. Sure, they had spent the last decade or so searching for this treasure, but that doesn't mean that they will be discouraged. If anything, the Lagina brothers and their crew may actually be on the cusp of making that major breakthrough when it comes to the search for this treasure on this mysterious island. With any luck and with the use of all this modern-day technology, it is only a matter of time before the Lagina brothers and their team extract that elusive treasure from the dangerous depths of Oak Island. From the exploration of several interesting spots on the island that could lead to the discovery of the treasure that is rumored to be hidden somewhere on Oak Island, to the battle with many of the problems that they may come across while they were searching for the treasure, here's how a dive on Oak Island led to the discovery of something terrifying while they were finding their way into a collapsed tunnel.